This demo shows an end-to-end proof of concept for a private encrypted balance ledger on Ethereum. There is no backend, no relayer, and no public raw balance key in smart contract storage or call data. Private transfers hide the sender, the recipient, and the amount at the protocol level, while the gas payer address still remains public on chain. However, this can be fixed with a relayer. So the demo starts when we connect our EVM wallet to the private user wallet. We can see our address and our balance of the testnet USDC. The first thing we have to do is derive our hidden keys for the privacy meta address. It is done using a signature from my wallet. Once we have this address, we can now deposit funds into our hidden balance represented by this address. For example, we can deposit a small sum from the public Ethereum ledger. First, we approve the token, and in a moment we will see also the transfer transaction that will shield our amount and deposit into the hidden balance. Here's the transaction that deposits the funds into our hidden balance. And it's now visible here once it's confirmed. And here we are. Now this balance is invisibly stored in our privacy meta address. So now we can try and transfer it privately to someone else. We need a different privacy meta address to be able to transfer it to someone else. So I will switch to another wallet. Here we have a different EVM wallet. Let's derive again the hidden key. So now we have the private meta address of that new wallet. Let's copy it. Come back to our original one, and let's transfer a small amount to that wallet. And that transfer will happen privately within our system. So now we are transferring a small amount to this other privacy meta address. And this transaction will be visible on the blockchain as a simple interaction with a contract. Here is our first shielding transaction. So shielding transactions are always public and you can see the amount that was shielded. But all subsequent transactions that happen within the system don't expose any information. You can only see it as an interaction with a contract, but inside the data of the transaction you can only see encrypted data and nothing else. So now our balance has reduced, the transfer has happened, but the other person still haven't received it because they need to claim it. They can, once we click sync incoming, you can see a pending incoming transaction, and now we can claim it by clicking claim. Thanks to ZK proofs, the recipient can verify that he is allowed to receive that transfer and claim it. So now he is doing just that. And the funds that we sent will arrive directly into his hidden balance. And here it is. Now the person that received the private transaction, that person also didn't expose anything on the blockchain, because if we look at the transaction, it also looks like just a simple interaction with a contract and nothing more. So neither the sender, nor the recipient, nor the amount, nor the type of the token is exposed during the private transfer. Now that person who received the private transfer can withdraw from the hidden balance directly to the public balance, and we'll do just that. Token withdrawal, like the deposit, is quite public on the blockchain, and you will be will be able to see the amount that was withdrawn. Like here. But now the hidden balance of that person who received the private transfer is 0, and the public balance has increased. And that's the basic flow of the private transaction system. This system is natively compliant, which means there are special information encrypted during the transaction that allow us to actually, as a regulator with a special regulator private key, to actually see inside the system of private transactions. So now you can see that we have all those 4 actions: deposit, private transfer, claim incoming, and withdrawn visible. We can see the original EVM address of the private transfer sender. We can see the original claim owner of the private transfer. And we can also visualize all these transfers from one person to another within the hidden lane of the system. Finally, we have another tool which is quite convenient, and this tool is used to analyze the metadata of these transactions, because obviously, even though they are fully private, they still have a bit of metadata within each transaction. And this console, this dashboard, allows us to monitor what kind of de-anonymization data we can extract, and if it's viable to detect who is the original sender or recipient. And for example, here you can see that the system alerts us that GasPayer is visible both in the private transfer transaction and in the claim incoming transaction, which means if we were to use a relayer, this would actually increase the privacy of the whole system. And here is the graph of the details of the private transaction system, all the spends and transfer tags required to implement this private transaction system.